everybody, it's time for GMG In The Raw Live. Grab your favorite beverage of choice and join us as we discuss the Minnesota Vikings. Feel free to add in your comments and we'll talk about them on air. GMG In The Raw Live is about to start. Look at the countdown timer. Once it hits 0, we're starting with the best Vikings post-game show out there. Type in your questions, your comments. We'll talk about them. Hey everybody, it's time for GMG In The Raw Live. Grab your favorite beverage of choice and join us as we discuss the Minnesota Vikings. Feel free to add in your comments and we'll talk about them on air. GMG In The Raw Live is about to start. Look at the countdown timer. Once it hits 0, we're starting with the best Vikings post-game show out there. Type in your questions, your comments. We'll talk about them. everybody, it's Dave here, and this is GMG In The Raw Live. And with me, I have Rhino and Flip. But first, before we start anything, we want to say a few words about Sid Hartman. Sid, I grew up with Sid, but I'm the old timer here. I'm the last of the boomers. And I know the Gen Xers and the millennials and maybe even some Gen Zers know who Sid Hartman is. Sid published his last column today. And he passed away sometimes either right before or during the ball game. Sid was 100 years old. He's known as Minnesota Sports. He's reported on everything from local prep school to Bud Grant, Muhammad Ali, Randy Moss had extreme respect for him, and Prince. Sid, you will be missed. Now, on to the Vikings versus the Falcons. But I have one question for you guys. Is it time? Rhino?
Blow the damn thing up. Just wipe it all out and fucking start over. I can't... I brought this up on the pregame show this week that we were going to come in and roll the Falcons, or the Falcons were going to come in and roll us, and and they got the bump after changing coaches. And what the hell did they do? They showed up, they showed up like there was a game today. We showed up like we didn't give a shit, and it started out right away with that god awful interception that Cousins threw on the very first play of the freaking game.
I haven't wrote it down. It's in my notes, which is back in the
it's in mine too.
Flip.
First play, there was four guys around Justin Jefferson, and he throws it behind Jefferson and right to the friggin' defender.
Well, my question was he behind Jefferson and low, or was he way behind Thielen, who was behind those four guys, in line and open?
If he was trying to throw to Thielen, he was also throwing it 20 yards short.
Yeah.
Or 10 yards short, whatever. But it was and he didn't even have any pressure on him. He rolled out. He had all kinds of time, and just yep.
Flip, what'd you think? Oh no, did we lose?
Froze
Flip?
Up.
No, Flip, what'd you think?
I'm back. Is it time? Look, I've been saying it for years or for weeks. Sorry. Embarrassing loss. We've played 6 games. We showed up in 3 of them. People want to say this is all, the team is young. We're dealing with a pandemic. I'm so fucking sick of that excuse. Every team is dealing with a pandemic. Every team has young players on it. This is a coaching problem. They cannot motivate their own players. So COVID is not an excuse. The pandemic is saving the Vikings, because if there were 60,000 fans in that stadium today, the Vikings are 0-3 at home. There would have been boos from the first play of that game, that dumbass Kirk Cousins interception, to the last play of that game, whether it's the Hayden Hurst touchdown or that easy Julio Jones touchdown or those terrible crappy ass onside kick. We can't even onside kick the ball even correctly to give our team a chance. It is time. It's not one guy at the top. It's all 3 of them. People want to argue, is it Zimmer? Is it Spielman? I don't give a fuck. Get rid of all of them. Get rid of Spielman. Get rid of Zimmer, and get Kirk Cousins off of my football team.
Absolutely. Flip, could you log off and log back on real quick? You're frozen at our end. Rhino, do you agree with Flip?
Yes, sir.
All 3 need to go.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt in my mind, because if you don't get rid of all three of them, nothing's going to fucking change next year. It might change a little bit if Zimmer's gone, but you're still not going to, because you still got Spielman out there making these bonehead personnel moves. We talked about this the other day. Ted brought it up on the other show that, pretty much every personnel move they have made since we lost the NFC Championship game in 2017 have bite this team in the ass, and it took a big bite out of it again today. That all lays on Spielman, and it lays on Zimmer, because Spielman isn't going to make a move without getting buy-in from Zimmer on it. And like we talked about, the biggest mistake was signing Cousins, and the second biggest mistake was extending him and doing the restructuring this year. And I mean, we talked about this too, that, we're talking about potential trade partners for Cousins. There's not any fucking trade partners for Cousins. Nobody is going to take on him with that salary the way he's playing this year. He has shot that completely out the door.
Forget the salary. Is Kirk Cousins the 15th best quarterback in the NFL right now?
No.
Is he the 20th? What is he? Is he the worst quarterback in the NFL?
Well, see, this is where you get guys that fall in love with statistics, right? And they look at it and go, oh, he's 73% completions. That's pretty good. He's consistent. But yeah, he's good at times. And then he melts down. He makes stupid decisions. He throws bad passes. And it's always at the worst time. It is what I've always said. He vapor locks. I said it before he came to Minnesota. Now, how does that quantify him a bunch? The rest, statistically wise, he's a decent middle of the road starter. But where he should be is one of the top backups. He should not start. He should not start unless somebody goes out. Then he has a chance to win you 500-ish, half the games. That's the true definition of a starter or of a backup. And that's what he should be, but he's not. Now, we've got a bunch of questions coming in already. Jamie Doyle asks, do you think this is enough to get Zimmer fired? And that one's been hot on Twitter all afternoon. Do you think this loss, 1-5, will get Zimmer fired?
Right now is the best time to do it, because we've got the bye week coming up, which I just checked the line. We open up as a 6.5-point underdog to bye next week. But but now this is the time, because it gives whoever you decide to make your interim coach, it gives them a week to kind of try to figure some shit out before we go to Green Bay and lose in 2 weeks.
Let's answer the question, though, because, I said last week the best time to fire him was before this game, if you ask me, because you give the new coach an easier opponent and a bye week before you head to Lambeau Field.
You did say
now, I mean, you're just going to have a bye week full of change and then Green Bay's a lost cause. Is it actually going to happen? Are they going to fire Mike Zimmer? The answer is no, and that pisses me off.
Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt that they will. Should they? Probably.
No, they should. They should, but yeah.
And again, it's up to the Wilfs, because they're the ones that make those decisions. And they will probably not. We will probably have Spielman, Zimmer, Cousins the rest of the season.
I don't know about the rest of the season, but I mean, look, we're 1-5. All you got to do is multiply our record by 3, basically. We're on track to go 3-13 or 4-12. And if we're talking about this now, after week 6, you have to imagine what are we going to do when we're sitting there at 2-10? They're not just going to let Mike Zimmer trot out a team when they're 2-10. No freaking way. And another thing the fans are saying, people are like, oh, well, the schedule gets easier. Well, how'd that go today? How'd the easy
This should have been the easiest game on the schedule, and we got rolled. This is worse than the damn Buffalo Bills game last year when they came in and kicked our ass up one side of the field and down the other.
I'm not happy about it. I wish that we were seeing the talent grow quickly. I wish that Zimmer was able to coach up his defense and we would see an offense play with some urgency and not just throw fades to Alex Madison. I wish that these guys, the guys in charge right now, were getting the job done. It'd be a lot more enjoyable on Sundays, but they're not doing anything close, so they have got to go.
Yep, I agree, and it should be done. Realistically, it should be done. It should be done right now. Zimmer should be out of a job before the day is out.
Well, I keep looking at Twitter, and nothing's rolled across to that effect yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything yet either.
Don't hold your breath. I don't know what y'all are drinking today, but I took one sip of my Woodford, and Kirk threw the second. Kirk threw the second, his first pick before I took a second sip, and I was like, it's not worth it. I'm just.
I couldn't believe it. I had just sat down. I did a post about the show prior to the game saying we're live 15 minutes afterwards. Just sat down and watched that horrible throw, and it was like,
on the Zimmer front, guys. I just saw this seen this on Twitter now. From Chad Graff posted it. Quote from Mike Zimmer in the post-game press conference: "It's hard for me to figure out how we can play like we did a week ago and then play as poorly as we did this week." That's your fucking answer? I don't know.
They're comfortable. Part of it is Zimmer knows he's not going to get fired. Like, he knows, or he has that comfort, which is great for a winning team and a winning coach to say, hey, just focus on the games. But they've never been able to flip the switch this year and be like, holy shit, we suck. Yeah. Every time they come out of an ugly loss, they're like, we just got to trust in the process, keep on doing the same thing, success will come. Then they lose against Indy. Don't worry, we're going to get better, success will come. Then they lose against Seattle. Don't worry, that was a step in the direction, the success has come. No, you got to sit down and be like, I fucking suck. We suck at this. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do to switch it up? Our best player is going to miss this game. So what are we going to do? Oh, we're just going to start throwing it to Chad Beebe now. That's your solution? Like,
short of the sticks on third down. Every fucking third down.
Every fucking time.
They threw it to Beebe, and he was 2 yards at least short of the goddamn sticks.
And Adam Thielen's got one target. So there's no Dalvin Cook, and you've taken your best. Well, I won't say best anymore because we got two damn good wide receivers right now.
Yes, we do.
But, so you got rid of Dalvin. Dalvin Cook is injured. You're choosing not to throw the ball to Adam Thielen. So your offense is basically Kirk Cousins behind a bad line throwing to Justin Jefferson. How is that the plan?
Speaking of the O-line, switching subjects just slightly. Today was Ezra Cleveland's first day at starting, and they put him at right guard. Of course, he was drafted as a left tackle, but they put him at right guard. What did you think when there was certain plays I watched, specifically Ezra Cleveland, to see how he did? What was your impression, Flip?
I thought he was terrible, and I don't even blame him for it. You know, you draft a left tackle, you train him at left guard, then you move him to right guard. Maybe not terrible for it being his first start ever, his first game action in the NFL ever, but if you're looking for an improvement from Drew Samia, I don't really think we got it today. And maybe it was like a little less ugly, but there were still guys in Kirk's space. He still missed some key run blocks, still missed some key double teams. And again, I wasn't expecting him to be great, but it's just sad for him to be coached so poorly.
Well, see, I saw some misses, just like you did, but I also saw some good blocks. And I saw one, and I think it was either one of the short throws to BB or one of the other ones. No, it wasn't a short throw to BB. Kirk had all day in the pocket. And And Ezra was doing well against Grady, holding him up. And then Kirk threw I think it was his second pick on that one. And it was just like, oh, come on. Oh.
I mean, the guy's got potential.
But Kirk did have, there was a lot of times Kirk had time to throw today.
Well, and he did. And after that second one, my blood pressure was so high, I had to take a break.
Way too fucking long.
But again, like the plan here, the plan for this game, you could see Kubiak was trying to go big on play action, get Kirk moving, get him out of the pocket, and Kirk just shat the bed using that strategy. They didn't mix in any targets for like an easy wide receiver screen for Adam Thielen or just an easy slant route for Justin Jefferson. It was all these long, delayed routes. He really leaned on the offensive line. The offensive line, sometimes they just let him through. Sometimes they gave Kirk great protection, and you're like, okay, Kirk, this is the shot. And he just
blows it. And he throws
and he
it
blows
behind,
it. So
throws it short, throws it
there's not a single play where we can trust the offensive line to be good and Kirk Cousins to be good. It's like a unicorn moment
Yeah.
for both of those things to go well.
Oh, you're right, 100%. It is so frustrating, and I wrote that during the game. It is just so frustrating, and it shouldn't be this way. Not after all these years. It's not like the offense is in rebuild. I mean, other than Jefferson for Diggs, everybody's back basically.
Right.
Except for you got rid of your best guard. And it's just
no. There's no shortcuts to this.
And that part of it is also an indictment on Spielman, which is why he needs to get his ass shown the door too. He's been in charge of personnel since 2012, and our offensive line has been shit since 2012.
My issue with this is it's the attitude. Like, you look at Spielman's moves, you look at the character, the personalities that they got rid of. Mm-hmm. Both Everson Griffin, Stephon Diggs, very vocal guys,
leaders.
You look at the personalities they brought in. Drafting like 8 college team captains. These are all just like quiet, follow the rules type guys. There's nobody to mix it up. There's nobody to say to get that urgency. I mean, we saw early on in that game, Zimmer dialed up a blitz, mug look. It gets to Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan had to, like, his offensive line didn't pick it up. He had to spike the ball. And the second the whistle blew, you could see Matt Ryan just laying into his offensive line, just like cursing him out, telling that guard to do a better job, telling that tackle to line up. Kirk Cousins gets sacked, and it's like, oh.
Go walk up and down the sidelines like somebody kicked his dog is about the way it looks.
And it's just nothing, no emotion. Only Justin Jefferson, only Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, everybody else.
Earlier in the game, Thielen was going up and down the sidelines, kind of getting in people's faces, telling them to wake the hell up.
Right, and that's, once I see a player do that, I'm designing a wide receiver sweep or an easy slant route to that guy. I'm giving him a chance, something. Yeah. But we don't see that from this team because they don't have that attitude, that mentality, that rah attitude is something they want. They just want quiet, follow the rules type, work the system type bullshit.
And it drives us nuts.
Absolutely.
And if that's what you want, Kirk Cousins is probably the best quarterback you can have for it, because he's not gonna, when a bad play comes in, he's not gonna say fuck this shit and pull his own play out of his ass or anything like that. He's, yes, boss. Okay. Yep. Okay. Here we're just gonna throw the ball over here, and then we're just gonna, hey, we got a touchdown. That's great. We're gonna go back and sit down on the bench now for 10 minutes until the defense is done. So,
We've scored 0 points. What we should do? Let's get Chad Beebe on an out route. It's like
3 yards short of the sticks.
Brady Longmore, Kirk Cousins, a human cup of ranch dressing. That's a good one,
mayonnaise.
Brady. Oh.
At least there's a little flavor to ranch dressing. It's more like mayonnaise.
Right. Hear you. If I mispronounce that, buddy, I'm sorry. The blame should all fall on Rick Spielman. He chose to play. Chose to pay Kirk, trade Diggs, failed to solidify the offensive line, chose to pay Cook and Barr. He's an idiot.
No, okay. So here's, again, like I said, here's the issue. And I totally understand your take on Spielman. The problem is there is no situation where the Vikings get rid of Spielman but keep Cousins and keep Zimmer and things get better. That's not a realistic outcome.
That's why all three need to go.
All three need to go.
If you keep even one of the three, I don't think it's going to get any better.
Yeah.
I agree. Now, getting rid of Kirk's going to be the hardest of the bunch because of his salary counts against the cap. Spielman's and Zim's only counts against the Wilf's wallet.
I'm just not that worried about it. I mean, you draft a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You tell Kirk, look, it's going to be a competition 2021. And what is Kirk going to do?
He's going to fold like a cheap lawn chair.
He's going to fold like a cheap lawn chair.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is...
demand a trade.
Yeah,
but the problem with that is...
probably demand a trade.
We'd like that. Right, that would be the best outcome.
Yeah,
absolutely. Please, go find somebody that's willing to take your ass off our hands, and good luck to you. Mm-hmm. Get the fuck out. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.
Yeah, and hey, Kirk, if you wanna be a backup quarterback, what if he doesn't ask to trade and we have to just pay him to be a backup quarterback? I mean, that just says the world about Kirk Cousins, that it's all about the money, that he was never going to lead us to a Super Bowl anyways. So I'm not that worried about it.
Just
the biggest thing is him being on the roster next year guarantees 2022 or 2021 and 2022 at the same time. And
it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. We would be better off we talked about this before about, if you can find a trade partner, which you're not going to now, right, unless somebody's got a day-old half-eaten donut and a cold cup of coffee that they'll give you for him.
There's your answer, Chris.
Yeah.
Or
you cut him.
Yeah, you're going to have to cut him, and then you're going to eat $41 million or whatever next year. Okay, fine. Let's eat the $41 million. I think it's just move on. Get
just move on. Just eat it. Just eat it.
Take your lumps with a rookie next year, at least if you're that you're building for something. Kirk's not going to build you anything.
JD, what asked Trevor, Justin, and I just want to let JD know we'll be doing a couple specials this week at our normal times, and we will probably discuss that in depth.
What are the chances they draft a quarterback?
If Spielman's running the show, very minimal.
I'm about to say it depends on who's the GM.
Because honestly, do you trust Rick Spielman to draft the right quarterback?
How can Rick Spielman watch what we just watched and say,
ego?
Okay, how?
Ego. How? He cannot admit that and I'm not even going to say that he fucked up when he signed Cousins, because it was the best of what was available. Best of what was available. I still think we'd have been better off keeping Keenum and Teddy one more year just to see how that went. But I'll go with the other part of it. But Spielman, we've seen this before in other players that haven't panned out. He holds on to him too long because he doesn't want to admit that he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing half the time when he's picking these players. Willie Beavers in the 4th round. Drew Samia. I mean, the laundry list goes on. I mean, Laquan Treadwell. I mean, you know.
Well, it is a topic for another day, but
yeah, I mean, we could talk about this for like.
If I'm the owner of the team or if I'm the general manager of this team, they're watching the same game we watch. So if they're really that stupid or if they really have some other agenda, some like Carl Pohlad type management that they're trying to run on the Minnesota Vikings, that's where I'm like, yo, I don't have to do this. I don't have to wear this hat every day and drink whiskey at 10 a.m. on the West Coast if you're not going to try to put together a winner. So.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, you know, the Wilfs have never given really the indication that they're that kind. I mean, that they're that kind of owners. You know,
no,
they're not doing a Red McCombs thing. You know, trying to or making your offensive coordinator also be your offensive line coach, the water boy, the equipment manager, and you know, gotta load the bus every time you leave.
That's why I think Zimmer is gone. If we're 2-10, Zimmer is gone. Spielman is gone. Because the Wilfs aren't going to stand for it.
Ted Glover says, fire everybody, rehire them next Friday, then fire them again. Oh, Ted, we love you, bud. We miss you.
I can't even talk about how upset I am at the defense because I'm just so pissed at the offense.
Yeah.
Speaking of missing somebody, we are missing the one and only Drewster today. He had things to take care of, and Drew would have been lit this afternoon on his opinions. Drew, I know you're going to watch this after the fact, buddy, but we miss you. We'll see you during the week.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have definitely loved to hear Drew's take today on what was going on here. So, I mean, we'll have to get it. We'll get it on the GMG bye-week show, I guess, but yeah, I mean, it just – well, Flip, you were talking about the defense. I mean, before the game started, they ran a stat. We were giving up 30.4 points per game. That is the worst in franchise history. And then we gave up 40 today, so now it's even worse.
I can't you know, – I mean, Kirk leads the league in interceptions. And what I asked him to do one thing. David, you know – I don't even care how many yards or how many first down conversions or what's his
just don't turn the fucking ball over
or how many touchdowns he scores. Just don't turn the fucking ball over.
We've even mentioned it on shows you are not on about how much it makes you happy when he doesn't turn the ball over, but irritates you to no end when he's a turnover machine.
Well, and especially all the
200 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, and Flip will be a happy fan. But you look at this game, 3 interceptions, 17 points off those turnovers. How much did the Vikings lose by today? We lost by 17.
Yep. Well, and the one turnover we didn't get any fucking points.
No.
There is no reason. I mean, you just as well not get that damn intercept or that turnover if you don't do something with it. At least get a goddamn field goal. But no, we can't do that.
It's just that I understand. Go for it on 4th and one at the goal
line. I'm okay with that. But the part that pisses me off the most about this, you know, and we've all talked about this many times, is that when you get a turnover, you have to make it fucking count. You have to score points. I don't care if it's a field goal or a touchdown, something. You have to get something out of that, or it's a wasted freaking opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And on the goal line there is, believe it or not, there's more things you can run, and I'm not talking just necessarily run, but more different plays that don't work at the rest of the field that you could use. And they seem to evaporate from the play call.
Pretty much all we do when we get down inside the 5-yard line is run.
It's like
we did try to throw that one to Irv that I think was probably
it was knocked out. He
fumbled it.
He caught
that
it.
Was a great
it
play.
Was knocked out of his hands.
Yeah, right.
But that wasn't actually a great play.
Yeah, it was.
But why was it knocked out of his hands? Because it was behind him and low.
Yep. Exactly. You hit it up here
for
where it's
a whole
supposed to be.
5 yards worth of throwing, max.
Right.
Behind him and low.
It's like it was damn near a Donovan McNabb dirt ball he threw at him, for Christ's sake. I mean,
you just hear about all these special plays the teams have. It's like, why do we always throw it to Kyle Rudolph on first down and second downs? Because we're saving our special plays for when we get down into the red zone and in the goal line situations. Must-have situations, we've got these special plays. And the Vikings, the special play is like...
It's called run right, run left, and run up the middle.
It's a QB draw with Kirk Cousins when we need a 2-point conversion.
Idiotic.
Yeah.
Or it's like a run on the hip of Dakota Dozier. It's like, oh, great. Thanks for saving that play for when we really needed it.
Now, I did want to ask the one question on, not that it meant anything, but when it was, I want to say, Mike Hughes was called for leading with the head.
Mm-hmm.
It was Gladney, wasn't it?
It was Gladney, yeah.
It was Gladney. Okay,
Yeah.
Gladney. Yeah. When he's called for leading with the head. Did you think that was a good call?
I thought it was pretty iffy.
I thought it was iffy, but really tough call. It's not one of the things that I was gonna gripe over.
This is one where I get a little perturbed over.
Yeah,
Gladney was shooting for about thigh level on the receiver.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But the receiver at the last minute bunts down like this, and then connects with the helmet because Gladney was going helmet right shoulder.
Yeah, if the receiver hadn't dropped his head, it wouldn't have been
it wouldn't have been.
Hit.
Yeah,
and maybe that's why he didn't get ejected. But
right. No, I agree. That's a call. I mean, the refs are the refs. I think you can see that starting to affect the game. Just the rule changes like that Matt Ryan run where he jukes out Eric Kendricks. It looks bad, but it's also like Kendricks knows that he's not allowed to hit Ryan.
Right.
So he's kind of just waiting for him to slide. But Ryan doesn't have to slide. He can just keep on running. So there's a lot of plays where you can just see defenders. It's a really tough situation.
Yeah, going through their head. Do I get the chance the 15-yard penalty or not?
It's literally, do I get a 15-yard penalty or do I just miss this tackle and let the guy get 15 yards, you know?
Right.
So,
yeah,
I think Gladney and Dantzler still, you know, improvements every week I'm seeing. We're still seeing some of those glaring rookie mistakes. I'll be okay giving them a full season, maybe even a full 3 seasons to work through that. I did not see much from Unique.
He had a couple tackles, at least one for loss in the backfield.
Yeah, and there was a couple times he was in the backfield and he got pressures probably. I mean, no sacks.
Matt Ryan's just so good at avoiding the negative play. He'll dump that ball out of bounds real quick, he's just so identifying the blitz and just getting rid of the ball, and it's just so.
And you can see
I'm
that.
so jealous. I'm so jealous, man.
Realistically, Matt Ryan is Kirk Cousins without the cross-wiring between the ears.
I'm so jealous.
With that, guys, I don't have any more. It's yeah. Hey, if we could get him, by all means, and I agree with everybody, let's go. He's a generational talent.
As of right now, there's only one team that hasn't won a game yet, and that's the Jets. And they're playing. I don't know if they're on now or if it's later today. But the Giants won, so now they've got their first victory. The Falcons won, so I mean, we went from before the game picking 7th, we're probably about picking 3rd right now.
Okay,
we're on track to win 3 games, and I'm telling you, man. Yeah. We're going to get one of those QBs because the GM's going to be gone. And, hey, my head coach, the head coach I want, Arthur Smith looking good, putting up 42 points today. That offense is humming with Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry. So now we got Jim Payton at the GM spot. I'm just so jealous. Just Matt Ryan, man. If we had a Matt Ryan,
oh God.
we'd still figure out a way to use him incorrectly. And that's okay. Bouncing back to
he would be like, this is the wrong way to use me.
Right.
This is fucked up. I'm making this audible at the line.
Right.
Right.
And he'd have enough balls to do it.
Right.
Whereas with Kirk might say, okay, this is messed up. He wouldn't say fucked up because he's.
I don't think this is going to go well, but let's try it.
But yeah, you know best, Coach. I'll give it the old college try.
Oh shit. Anyways,
I agree with Christopher Gates there. Bieniemy for the head for our next.
Everybody's going to want Bieniemy. Y'all got to get way more creative with these head coaching takes. Okay, everybody's going to want Bieniemy.
You got to remember, Bieniemy was here.
Yeah, he was a running back coach here.
It's not going to be Bieniemy. We got to look further than just one guy.
It all depends. I mean,
Arthur Smith. Yeah, the Vikings have like the least attractive head coaching vacancy, or they will. So we got to be more. We got to do more than just say, "Oh, Bieniemy, the number one guy." Got to dig in. I'm telling you, Arthur Smith. Right. While nobody's talking about him, I'll call him. I'll call him for us.
Okay. Hey, research.
As long as our coaches.
I'll put him in touch with Thomason
next year. That's all I'm worried about. As long as our coach is not named Mike Zimmer next year.
Hey, they could go on a run here. They could go 10-6.
Yeah, and I could get done with the show here too and go out and have a beer with Brooklyn Decker. That's not happening either.
Good luck, Rhino. With that, we're going to wrap it up. But like I said, this week we have a couple bye-week specials lined up for you, including these great gentlemen that are on now, plus a few others. And we will be looking forward ahead. And we'll watch Twitter, see if anything happens this week. We'll keep you updated. Thanks for joining us as always. Any last words there, Flip?
I can't wait to see, going into the bye week, licking their wounds, Mike Zimmer leading this team with 2 weeks to prepare for the Green Bay Packers. I can't wait to see what happens.
Sarcasm rains down.
Yeah.
Any last words there, Rhino?
I got 2 things quick. Justin Jefferson, through 6 games in the rookie campaign, Randy Moss had 527 yards. Justin Jefferson now has 536, so he has surpassed both Stephon Diggs and Randy Moss for the most yardage in a rookie campaign through their first 6 games. So I mean,
he looks the real deal.
Oh yeah, he's legit, and I thank Philadelphia every day for taking Jalen Reagor and leaving Justin Jefferson for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yo,
and the second take I have. Tank for Trevor in full effect.
All right. With that, everybody, thanks for watching us. Thanks for joining us in the remarks, everybody that did. And we'll see you later. Have a great week. If you can, watch Twitter, watch the reports. Rest in peace there, Mr. Sid Hartman. You were a legend. And Skol Vikings! Hopefully we'll at least win 1 or 2 more games.
Maybe.
Matt Ryan.
Thank you for watching or listening. As always, if you like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. And if you're listening to the podcast, please rate us on your favorite aggregator. Skol, everybody.